first footing is not Manchester United's forte. It's 6 years since last they won on New Year's Day, and in that time there has been the odd embarrassment. Alex Ferguson still quivers at the very mention of Queen's Park Rangers' victory here, which turned the title race in 1992. So it may have been with some trepidation that Ferguson named this team. He's resisted the temptation of starting with Andy Cole. Nicky Butt replaces Paul Scholes to add some bite in midfield. Cantona and Solskjaer have each scored 3 times over the holiday period. So has Villa's leading scorer, Dwight Yorke, but the visitors are forced to make their first outfield change in 7 matches. Ricardo Shimiko is injured, disrupting what is the Premiership's meanest defence. Gareth Southgate is on the way back. Tonight, though, the vacancy is filled by Carl Tyler, normally an understudy to a very stable cast list. In charge this evening, David Ellery from Harrow, who's presided over 2 United wins and 2 Villa defeats so far this season. Villa, kicking off in the light shirts, are in the midst of a run of 6 games against the other 7 members of the top echelon of the Premiership. This should be a really good benchmark as to the validity of their title aspirations. As for Manchester United, well, their Christmas has been very merry indeed so far, and they'd like the new year to match. 3 wins. If they make it 4, it'll be their best holiday period since 1959. Townsend with Butt herring in to make the challenge. Staunton showing too much of it to Keane, and here's Cantona, and there's a real chance for United here. 3 in the middle. Here's Giggs. How did he miss from there? Well, Steve Staunton's slip allowed Roy Keane to win a ball that he should never have had a sniff of. Cantona, look, he looked up at least 3 times, and maybe the presence of Bosnich actually moving in front of Giggs put the Welshman off, but really, in the strictest terms, there's no excuse for missing that. And no one's picked up Milosevic. 2 on the edge of the 6-yard box. He's being crowded out at the moment, Milosevic. He is very one-footed. And he went down, and it's a corner. Dwight Yorke is asking for something more. But Milosevic peeled away, earned himself some space, and then couldn't get past a wall of red shirts that suddenly engulfed him. Townsend, the captain, with the kick, and plenty of height available to him. Schmeichel had an anxious moment, but there was a push. Well, these were Villa's claims for a penalty. There might have been something in that. Roy Keane was the tackler. Yorke. Staunton. Milosevic pulling away. And that's the intended recipient of that pass. Irwin's the defender. Milosevic trying to work it onto his left foot. And that cost Villa a chance. Giggs. Suddenly the foot is on the accelerator. And that's a glorious pass to Cantona. Solskjaer by the penalty spot. Giggs beyond. And it flicked off the head of Tyler. Only to Beckham. Ehio. Cantona! So nearly a slice of New Year cheer from the Frenchman, the Old Trafford faithful. Ehio's defensive header lacked conviction or direction. And Cantona struck it cleanly enough, but with the outside of the boot it was always going wide. Header. Giggs. Ehio once again. Solskjaer. Handball by Fernando Nelson. Beckham with the free kick. And Jonsson's header, had it been a yard either side of Mark Bosnich, would have made it 1-0. Lovely flight on the free kick. header, but he couldn't really fault it, except to say that into one of the corners would have been a better bet. York. No one is with Alan Wright. And Villa are getting men forward in numbers now. Draper's in there. Here is Draper. Great save. And Taylor. The linesman has got his flag up on the near side. There was a suspicion that Mark Draper was offside. There he is, the furthest player forward. And as Alan Wright plays it in, yes, he was a couple of yards the wrong side of the defensive line. Some save by Schmeichel, though. Cantona. Bounces off Staunton, it's still Cantona. It's very tight in there. Cleared by Nelson. Johnson came off his chest to Milosevic. Now York. Townsend. On to Milosevic. 3 Villa players in the centre. But Giggs did a good job for Manchester United. And now he can repeat it. Solskjaer. Giggs marauding forward. Here he is. Around Ehiog. Still going, Ryan Giggs. And Cantona. Somehow Bosnich got across and back. Giggs seemed to have a clear shooting opportunity. He'd done the hard part, taking it around Ehiog between the 2 defenders. And there, that was the shooting chance. Bosnich did well. He thought Giggs should have shot. Deflected slightly off May. Out of play by Ronnie Johnson. Less than 4 minutes to half-time. Milosevic and Beckham having an altercation. Need really for others to become involved. Staunton and Giggs now exchanging views. That was at the root of it. Beckham caught Milosevic a little late. Well, the yellow card has been waved in Beckham's direction, but I'm not sure that Milosevic didn't spit at David Beckham after the initial challenge. And for that, he too is going to be cautioned. What can Villa make of the free kick? They have 5 in the box. Townsend with it. Keane's header. Fouls for handball against Draper. And Ryan Giggs will go to the Manchester United dressing room expecting to be told that he should have given United a half-time advantage with a clear opportunity. And he will feel that, by his standards, he should have put United in front. Well, Villa showed great organisation in the first period and played stoutly at the back, and Manchester United have yet to produce the inspiration to find a way through, although this man Giggs will still feel that he should have scored a goal. It was interesting that he passed up several more opportunities to shoot himself after missing a sitter. This is Beckham. No changes at half-time, by the way. And United now playing from left to right. Cantona. Now Neville. 3 to aim for. That was Staunton. Keane. Irwin. Solskjaer. A little short of Irwin. And it'll be a Villa throw. Won by Ian Taylor. Crowd are singing Andy Cole's name, and he may be with us shortly. But it could land Villa in trouble. When Cantona seemed to tangle with Tyler as the ball was going out of play. Cantona is appealing to the referee's assistant for assistance. Well, you would have to say that Cantona was the offender. Draper. Used the chest, not the arm. Milosevic. Only York in the centre, and he's surrounded by 3 United defenders. More support arriving now for Nelson. Can he take on and beat Irwin? Milosevic. It may fall, luckily, to York. Milosevic deflected off Johnson and behind for a corner. And Schmeichel was lying on the ground when that ball whistled past the post. It was fortunate for Villa the way the ball fell to Dwight York and then to Milosevic. And Schmeichel was lying prone. Five in the box for Townsend's corner. Again, poorly delivered, straight onto the head of Butt. It's a better pass by Staunton. Can Townsend do better with the cross, or maybe a shot? Townsend! Blocked by Schmeichel. And a prodigious throw by the big Dane puts Giggs on his way. Nelson doesn't know which way to turn. Still it's Giggs. Fine tackle by Steve Staunton. Halted the Welshman in full flow. A rare frisson of excitement. Cantona. On for Keane. Rosnick acts as sweeper. He now has to retreat because it falls of ball people to David Beckham close to halfway. Not for long. York. 2 to his right. And 6 United defenders, plus the goalkeeper to get past. That's the measure of Villa's task. Well, Little doesn't look too happy. But 0-0 at Old Trafford is never a bad score for the visitors. No surprise that Solskjaer is making way. And for the 3rd successive match, Andy Cole comes on as a replacement. Cantona. Beckham. Deep for Giggs. Nelson in the way. It'll fall to Cantona. Still Cantona. It hit Hegiog. Beckham, who was fouled by Draper, in a prime position for Manchester United's free kick specialists, of whom there are any number. Bosnich, briefly a Manchester United player himself, with the task of arranging the defensive wall. Giggs has decided he won't take it. Here's Cantona, and it's a corner. Giggs. High and hanging. May went for it. Villa failing to clear. Appeals for handball. Keane. Awkward bounce. And in the end, a good save by Bosnich, scrambling away. There was a real mess inside the box as Villa attempted twice to clear. The second corner. Cantona. Beckham. Again deflected. Cole! Great save by Bosnich. It really was. And then Beckham scuffed the follow-up cross. But Andy Cole must have thought when he saw the whites of Bosnich's eyes that this was his chance to score the winning goal for United. But when Bosnich spreads himself, he can make himself look very wide. And that's precisely what he did. Right. Pushed by Giggs. Milosevic with the quick free kick to Johnson. Townsend. York has escaped his man, who was and is David May. Townsend. Milosevic was there. It'll fall to Johnson. escape. Giggs. Now Beckham. Two to his left, one to his right. And that man is Cantona. Giggs. Beckham. Deflected cross off Tyler. Took the sting out of it. This was virtually Tommy Johnson's first touch of the ball. This has been an evening, an occasion and a game which have fallen well short of the expected standards. Cantona. Sliced off Ehiog. Here's Giggs. United with three inside the penalty area. Giggs still. Nelson recovered in the nick of time. Johnson. Given away to May. Still May is allowed to run. Giggs. Same cross. Straight to May. Known to score with his head a time or two from set pieces, David May, but not with a half volley on the edge of the penalty area. So that was the chance that presented itself. Beckham back to Neville. Cantona screaming for it, and here he is. Goal beaten by Tyler. Well won by Keane. Beckham. Giggs. Cantona. And a clear chance for Beckham. Who pounds the turf in frustration. We're just not going to see a goal tonight, and there haven't been that many chances of a goal. This just seems destined to end 0-0. Came off Johnson's head. For the third successive time, Manchester United and Aston Villa failed to produce a goal. In the context of the title race, it doesn't tell us too much, except this Premiership this season is becoming a story of missed opportunities by the leading teams. In Villa's terms, a good result away from home. Mark Bosnich with a couple of second-half saves that made him worthy of his money this part of the festive season. Roy Keane, a vigorous presence, but not enough to stir Manchester United into a goal. Ryan Giggs should have scored, but didn't. And Manchester United again failed to win on New Year's Day.